The energy is intense and insane, literally.
I was gonna say you felt it too. It's so insane. Yeah, the energy is just insane.
I just mean the world. I don't mean energy, any energy. I mean, everybody I know is being confronted with catalyst, like all at the same
Mhm,
time. And the
mhm, mhm.
energy of all of that. Um, I lost my cool twice yesterday. I mean,
You
literally
lost
lost.
your what? You lost your what?
I lost my cool twice
Oh, okay.
yesterday. I blew up. I got angry. I lost my center, had no center whatsoever.
Oh my goodness. What happened? If you don't mind sharing.
Just told you, just too many people I know confronting catalyst, confronting me with that catalyst. Yeah, just it was too much. And it's so hot. I mean, I literally and figuratively lost my cool.
Hmm. So California is really hot right now.
um, it's 90. It's not super hot.
That's pretty
But
hot.
I live in a house that doesn't use its air conditioning, and I'm up on the third floor. It's hot up here,
Mm.
really hot up here. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get too lost in that, just to mention that, yeah, that's probably attributed to, opening the centers, putting things in play. I mean, everything that corrects doesn't just correct from within ourselves, it corrects out here in the field, and correction out in the field looks like catalyst, as you know.
Hmm, hmm.
And people confronting what they need to confront in order to complete with what they need to complete with in order to keep boots on the ground, as it were. So anyway, that's sort of my, and note, like I was completely knocked off of my schedule for my sitting meditations, and I was going to not record live, but instead record myself doing the sounds and stuff. And
Hmm.
all of that was just whirlwinded away into nothingness over the last 3 days. Yeah, completely. I mean, just completely. I mean, not just my center out here, my schedule and everything out here also just. So I'm still kind of sitting in that whirlwind of whatever the heck this is. And we'll see how that plays out as I go in. Now I'm thinking let's keep these to an hour, so we won't spend too much time, or we'll spend less and less time talking at the beginning,
Yeah.
and uh, hopefully leaving some space for impressions at the end, but it doesn't have to be 40 minutes like last week or last time. Okay.
Okay. So would you like to get started?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Let's
just
do
going
it.
to turn a light on because it's kind of dark on me. Is that any better?
Um, I don't know. Every time I do this with you, my vision is blurred. So I can see you, but it's hard to tell about the lights. So
Okay. Well, we'll just leave it there then.
yeah.
All right. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm looking for my symbol. I have movement. Okay. Okay. What I have is a nebula, or perhaps galaxy, and one particular globe, one particular sphere is popping out, and it's approaching. This is a planet. It's entering somewhat like the craft. did at our last session, coming in along a particular trajectory and sort of spiraling down from the head. It's just sitting here now. Let's see what we have here. This is a blue planet, but is not the Earth. I'm being shown a particular spiral movement and a cluster of, or a nexus point of an orbit. There are two other small spheres here orbiting. These are moons. And there is a movement from a sort of craft. It's more like an open air craft, like a motorcycle or a jet ski is open air without a top. There are two people upon this device. They're vacating it now. They have landed. They are wearing full astronaut gear. I'm just going to follow them for a moment. They're running, moving at high speed on foot and sliding down a gravelly rock face and getting on two motor type vehicles and speeding off. So I do not know what this is all about or what this is leading to, but the energy is now shifting. I am in a process of a reconfiguration of the energy. It is a quite rapid reconfiguration.
What is happening now? Is there someone that is speaking through the vehicle Casey?
There are energies that are present. As you ask, they are beginning to show themselves. There are again those we know to be of one of the vast variety of gray races. These are the variety that are more gray in their color, in their skin tone. Those with the more widely known large, almond-shaped black eyes. I'm viewing a scene on a craft in an exam room. Two beings are at the table, one on either side, a female. On the slab, are working hurriedly. I want to say furiously. As though something that had been wrong is attempting to be fixed at the last moment. And it is not known if the fix will have effect. My entire left leg fell completely to sleep in that download of information. This is notable, entirely to sleep. And the felines are arriving upon my request that someone step forward. If you leave me sitting silent for too long, the opportunity leaves.
What is happening now? Was an entity trying to channel through you?
I'm viewing a scene on the planet of this feline being. Between it and its mate is a happy scene with bright skies and green grass and flowers and play. Yes, you have the opportunity to bring this entity in.
May I request the entity to come through the vehicle? What is happening right now?
Putting forward my own energy in an attempt to disintegrate and let integrate into the system, this feline being is a slow, almost physical process. But I feel the weight of this being descending into place.
Is the integration still happening? May I ask for a name of who is coming through? Can you tell me if you are here with me now? Is this a feline entity that I am talking to right now?
The feline races are here.
Would you please tell me what you look like?
This is bringing me more forward, Andy. So I will describe the being that I see. It looks like what we might call a tiger. Long and lean and yellowish in its coat. I am still viewing this being and the other at a distance, so they are still more caricature-like in their appearance. They are leisure beings with much leisurely time. They reside out of doors on the land, but are intelligent, an intelligent species, much as ours is an intelligent species.
Can I ask personal questions?
Yes,
Would you be able to tell me about the blockage I have on my right side of my body?
I see no reply.
Would you be able to tell me about the astrological events that's happening on Earth right now? Is there any message that they would like to bring forth to me?
I'm not getting anything.
What kind of questions would you be open to answer?
The feeling I get is that the scene I am viewing of the playful, leisurely day is the response to what they would bring forward to us here now in this moment. I'm actually just feeling so heavy in my body that I almost want to fall forward on my face. So I do not know what this is. There is a energetic present within it, a vibratory movement. It could open out into something, but the bulk of what I'm feeling is almost nausea and heaviness and movement.
Is the vehicle being conditioned to open up even more for channeling?
It is a slow, she wants to say painfully slow process.
Is there any way to speed it up? Or, yeah, to speed it up?
This is what the channel now knows occurs when the attempt to speed up the process is invoked.
I understand now. Would we have more of a communication if the channel do not speed up the conditioning?
The ideas and energies present will rise, and this is a normal and usual part of the process. It is not encouraged to squash or hold back what is otherwise present, but to allow all to come forward as it naturally would. And in the process of this, learn what works and does not work.
Would you be able to tell me what works?
Allowing all to be as it is, allowing all to flow as it would.
May I ask questions about myself at this time?
You can try.
I will ask again about my blockages on my body, on the right side of my body. Is there anything that you can tell me about them?
Scanning. Heating up. This means I'm going out, which means someone may be coming in one moment.
Okay. What is happening right now?
Separation process is in progress.
Is there someone here with us?
There are many who are here. There are many who are assisting. A series of signposts are attempting to be laid.
Can you describe the signposts?
I can say that I can see them vaguely and forming a particular pattern in my field, and that I am following them now. The pattern resembles the symbol in front of a musical scale, that which looks like a large S. The word cannot be found.
Is anyone ready to speak through the vehicle?
Simple questions at this point in the process would be of great help.
What is there any name that I can receive.
This point in the process, there is no name. There is much presence. There is decided energy. There is a coalescing.
What is happening to the vehicle?
She is in a process of moving further out into space. She is
Right.
observing the process, enjoying the process. She is experiencing a lightness, the sensation that is the form or format in which she more normally presents to those in your world.
Are you a collective or multiple collective?
This that is here would be more thought of as a coalescing of energies, coalescing potential. It's not a form or format that is more normally thought of as the idea of entity. There is no configuration. You may think of the idea of what is here as a potential. Potential is the word most present in this vehicle.
How may I utilize this potential?
Coalesce your own energy into ideas and put them forward, and the coalescing will occur in reply.
Are we both being conditioned to bring forth better channels?
Better channels.
I mean, better channeling messages.
The best that can occur is the instance of what is happening in any moment. This vehicle has within her the notion of the idea that the more you do a thing, the better you get at it.
Is there anything that you can tell me about the sensation that I'm feeling right now on my skull?
It is a capacity on your part, a willingness and openness on your part to connect that which you are with that which this is. The translation is what you are feeling.
At this point, is there a name that I can ask? Or is it still energy correlating as a potential?
It is a coalescence. This vehicle began to feel what she has referred to many times now as a nexus point of this coalescing. It is an idealized state and optimal as she perceives it, low or opening up the flow of information that both you and she have referred to as best.
Is she ready to go into trance?
She is in an effective state through which the information may flow. She is not yet as established in the configuration of energy that would allow for there to be no breaks, as she puts it, to be a guide to the flow. She will move out beyond this inclination. The dialogue is let to continue.
What is happening right now? Is she still at the nexus?
She is beginning to experience the loss of connection, that which she considers her body. She is in process of seeing with the idea of the body more fundamentally is. She is beginning to experience the body in this format.
Is there anything that you can tell me about the body in this format?
This is a body of information. Information as symbols. Information as code. Information that itself is not encapsulated into any perceived format. It's possible for her to traverse the information into the potential points from which precise information is birthed.
Is there information that she would like to bring back? What is happening right now?
Question has led to the want or will to embed the sensory data into the system cells, that which she calls her body.
Is she bringing back information that will help her to do her work?
This is the desired state. It is along the spectrum of the desired state, conscious awareness. She hopes or endeavors to hold while channeling.
Should I just keep asking questions so that she can hold the state?
While channeling information from known points in her nexus to other known points in her nexus. This is in play throughout the duration of any lifetime that has come into a point, a particular or particularized experience of self, the connections between the one point and another, the network devised within the points is always in a state of delivering information.
Is it information about all kind of things? Or is it some specific information?
Finishing the sentence, through the byways and highways, the rest of that sentence has been lost.
Is the information that the vehicle now is obtaining about any specific topic?
Back to specific reality land. Ask the question again.
What is the information about?
What is what information about?
The information that the vehicle is reading or obtaining right now.
I was beginning to access the network of souls within my template. I was beginning to access the source code itself. High degree of desirability of what I want to experience here on my end as I move into a channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that that is a slow process, but I was entering a level of enjoyment in that was making me much less of a distraction to the opening of the channel than it does when I am more in specific space. When I'm getting into that, I'm searching for the point in which I can pop out and another voice, another vibration, another frequency of vibration popping in. And we're sort of just getting into that, point where like maybe something like that was possible. And getting into that point is very healing to my system. So while that was happening, I was being reworked and rewired and reconfigured and resurmounted and every kind of you can possibly imagine. That we normally cut ourselves off from in physical space. We are cut off from in physical space as physical beings, and so reconnecting with that and is what was just in play. And I'm still in a space where the flow and the energy and the sensations and the lightness of being and all of this is still very prevalent. This is like I won't say that. It was here, but I won't say that.
Is this the ideal state that you like for channeling?
Yes, yes. Bringing through specific entities is fun, but in my estimation, especially from the withinness of myself, is not the ideal or the optimal that could be brought through, or the ideal or the optimal of the experience being had while I am in here, as what just happened, which is not formatted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not fixed, it's not finite. It's the reverse of all of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's that which has not yet even come into being. It's that which is in the process of us opening the flow, is for the first time ever coming into a point of being. And at the time that it does, it could be said to now exist, and it itself could be accessed now at any point, and it itself could itself be conceptualized as an entity and pictured or perceived as an entity, a lifetime, something living now. But that which brought it in, which is the coalescing itself, at the point that the interaction disperses, it also disperses. But it birthed that. It's maybe how souls come into being, how ideas are combined and connected with other ideas to form what we call consciousness and conscious being.
Mm-hmm.
It is that which is prior to the experience of being. That
Mm-hmm.
fascinating, it's phenomenal. Yeah, I don't want to come out of it, but I am almost out of it here now. And sort of approaching more physical space. But as I approach more physical space, I approach healed, I approach new. I approach with a lot of the perceived ideas I have previously had unlocked. Yeah, so that it, as in reality, it truly is. We in each moment are new. We don't experience ourselves that way. We experience ourselves in such a linear format that with the perceived space between one moment and another moment, we seem to compile or build onto and store into ourselves in very, heavy and confined ways, all of that. But truly, in each moment we're new. And I just got to experience what it was like to enter a moment brand new. Very different.
That's fantastic.
Very different from when I first entered the channel. So that reminder has been very helpful. Thank you.
Do you get a lot? You seem like you have gotten a lot out of this session. Do you feel like you have gotten a lot?
Yeah.
That's good.
Everyone going in is not fun for me. And that I I get frustrated. I want it to happen faster. I start to push, and the more I push, the more I lengthen the experience because it doesn't work. It doesn't work to push. It works
Mhm.
to open and to expand. But as I open and expand, I mean, there's nothing really to say in that other than that I'm opening, I'm expanding. You know, the experience is altering, the terrain is altering. Uh, you know, what was that experience like from your end?
Physically, or just, I mean,
Or mentally, was it confusing? I mean, your
I
question.
I can tell what's happening. And this is gonna be so weird to say. I feel part of it physically, and that's why I was asking about the sensation that I had on my skull. Like I feel it partially, and in a very physical form. Very physical sensations. To me, again, the struggle is I don't know what to ask.
I mean,
And
what do you ask a coalescence?
I know exactly. I honestly, I was really stuck there. I'm like, ah. So that's why I was keep asking like something about the vehicle because you're in there. So that's why I was keep asking the combined energy about you, like what is happening, what are you doing, what
Well,
information you have access to. I don't know if any of these questions are helpful
and then
or. Mhm.
well, the whole thing was it was helpful.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad.
The whole thing, you know, point to A landed us at point Z. I mean, and the point Z was good.
I think what the felines were doing was actually just send you off to some kind of somewhere. I think that was what they were doing. That's why they were like, stop asking questions. I'm just gonna send you somewhere. At least that's the impression I got.
Yeah, it's interesting because sometimes I know exactly why I am where I am, and what I'm seeing is so interesting to me that you know I want to relay it, and in relaying it, new ideas or new data to relay in that seems interesting. You know, it's just right there, and then other times I'm there and it's just like, okay, so why am I here? And you know, this is nice, what a nice little scene this is, you know, but what does that have to do with anything, you know? And I'm like thinking in there, okay, what do I do with this, you know? Like I don't know why I'm there, you know. So it's just sort of have to move through whatever that is until we either figure it out by asking the right question at the right time or by not and it moving into something else. And yeah, it's all part of the process. It's all good. Well, once I got in there into the neural, I like entering this thing I call the neural network.
Mm.
It is like byways and highways. It is like if you were looking at a ground level view of our highway system, you know, it's these lines, the right lines, and you can see the connection points. Um, and I can go into the veins or the byways, whatever you want to call them, you know, the particular tubes or channels of flow between one point and another point, or I can be pulled from one point, boom, and just be over here at this point, almost like I rapidly dematerialize and materialized in another place. And all of that is an experience that I'm having while I'm in there.
Mm.
I can get very fascinated in the feeling of that, and I was. And so the information that was coming through was just there, and I was not putting on the brakes, maybe 2% putting on the brakes on some things where the same word was being said over and over, and I'm like, use a different word already. Just you said flow 5 times. You know? Anyway, but yeah, I was pretty much in a space where, you know, there was no foot to put on a brake, you know? And so, yeah, we moved me into a good spot. And there that is.
I think it's prepping you for channeling. That's what I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just have to do it enough times in a row, consistently enough for there to, you know, have it be an overall effect. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad.
So long as you're not bored by the process and there's an inclination to keep going, then we're good.
Yes, like I said last time, please don't worry about me. I will definitely let you know if I get bored. And the reason I'm not bored, it's because I partially feel like I honestly don't know what's happening, and then that's why I was asking that question because I would like to know. Like maybe one day when we actually bring someone or collective in, I will ask this question again. Am I actually being conditioned at the same time? Even though I'm not in, I don't. So okay, I'll just describe what happened. Everything blurred out. It's like I'm sitting in a fog, and there's just this sensation of energy flowing through me on my skull, and then the whole body was just buzzing in at a very intense level. It's not something that I can personally achieve by myself. Yeah, so that was what I was feeling. So I felt that it was very beneficial for myself. So that's why I'm not bored. I was feeling a lot of stuff, which are basically, it's like what you're saying, you're in there enjoying the experience, and I'm out here enjoying the physical experience that I was having. So that was awesome. So, yeah.
Um, what you said is exactly how I experience a channel when I open myself up to experience the channeling, not listen to the data that's coming through, but literally soften my whole structure and let in through my whole structure that information. Yeah, then that's how I know that an actual channeling is in play, because the information is very tangible, it's very real, it's very different than how I normally experience my energy and the energy of other physical people. Very different. So you could say that it was the me opening myself up to experience the energy and information directly through my whole system, but it's also the flow of the information and energy that the channel is letting through. It's both, it's all of that. So yeah, that's how I know that a channeling is actually in play too. And that's why I enjoy channeling and listening to channeling and opening myself up to experience it directly through my whole system so much. It does alter my structure. Of course it does. Yes, so reconfiguration of you is occurring also, but it's occurring because you are opening yourself up for connection. And that's the important part of somebody who's asking questions, not to just be in their mind, and saying words or asking questions that they have thought out, but literally opening up their being, experiencing the connection of their energy with the energy that's coming through, their known information with the information now coming through, and seeing how that sets things into motion within the structure. And that's what, that's from where the real questions, the genuine and authentic questions come up out of. That's how they're birthed. And so I felt you were doing very good, because I felt there was a couple times where I had to come forward and it didn't bring me so far out that it was over and done with. It was like I came out and answered, then went right back in there, because the next thing that you then asked, required that I do that for an answer to come out. So it was good, because I don't know the answers. I have no idea what to say. I could think of something to say and draw it in, see the patterns and relay it. But that's not what I'm wanting to do when I'm channeling. That's how I speak. So that's how I would do things. Like if you asked me, Casey, a question, that's what I would be doing within myself to access the data to put through. But it's me accessing data. It's me patterning that data. It's me wording that data. That's not what I want to do on my channel, of course.
So should I try to ask questions that you wouldn't know? Like when I ask you what the feed lines looks like, I know that's a question that you probably would have known as Casey. So should I avoid questions like that?
I wouldn't. I would I would literally sense into what's happening. Like there's no right or wrong. There's just what is about to happen. And what is about to happen is what's about to happen.
Okay.
Don't stop.
I get you. No, I get you. So basically, I'll just do what I did today. That was literally what I did. I just,
Not
some of the question I don't even know. Like when you asked me to repeat a question, I actually forgot what the question was, like right after, because I did not think of the question. So it wasn't in my brain. So, okay. So I kind of get the gist of that. So I would just follow that. I would just follow that experience. Yeah.
good. Good. There was a couple times, just to give you feedback on that. There was a couple times that I was in there that the sentences weren't done, and it was so interesting to me that I didn't go to your question. I tried to complete the sentence. It was probably coming through super slow, huh? So you thought it was the flow was finished, but it didn't stop me. Like I just thought finishing sentence and then tried to finish the sentence, and the one time it was still there, and then the other time I couldn't because I was still half hearing your question while I was trying to finish the sentence. Yeah, it's fascinating. That whole thing is fascinating.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Okay. I will ask shorter questions, and yeah, I will ask shorter and yeah, but then yeah, okay. Yeah.
No, it
I'll
doesn't.
keep that in mind.
It doesn't have to be a shorter question. There was just 2 points where the flow had not completed. Like you asked a question in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah, that happens when I ask a longer question. So that's why I say that I will try to ask a shorter question and at the same time not think about it. So which will be the hardest thing to do, I guess, for me. But then I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
It's probably hard for you to tell because, like, was I talking really slow? Like, had I stopped like, I don't necessarily know how things are coming out here. When I get that deep, I am like in there and I'm following a certain flow and experience. And so I have no idea how fast or slow the words are coming out or if I stopped talking or not. This is another curiosity of mine. How will I know when I stop talking and somebody else starts if I'm in trance, meaning out of body? How will I know? Not that I'm supposed to, but they know that I want to stay conscious through the process and they know I want to bring the data from in there back. And you don't have to worry about me bringing the data back. I will be embedding it regardless.
Okay.
They will be helping me embed it in my structure regardless. So whether I open that, am able to open that immediately and in full when I get back, or if that takes days or weeks or years and just unpacks over time, who knows, that's okay. That's okay. I don't have to bring it immediately back, although immediately back is good. Yeah.
So your speed is actually okay. I can demonstrate how fast you talk. So you talk like this. So it's actually not very slow. It's just slightly slower. What I have, and then it's good that we have this on recording too. So sometimes you actually get the voice actually get quieter, and that's actually when I have trouble. But which is fine because it's recorded. So regardless, I think going forward, regardless, I hear the answer, I would just present another question because it's recorded. So I shouldn't worry about that. Yeah. For some reason, I was slightly worried about not getting your answer, but it's recorded, so that's good.
And that's understandable too, because early in the channel, the questions weren't being asked quick enough. So I was
right. Yeah. So sometimes I don't know if I should disrupt your process. Like I don't know what's happening. So I don't know. So I try to keep half a minute to a minute of silence in every question. Yeah. So that's what I was trying to do. So
that's perfect. I would say aim at a half a minute at 40 seconds and what's happening now. And then if that's too fast, if I'm in a place where that's still too fast, I'll let you know.
Okay.
It's almost Well, both can be sort of detrimental to the
Yeah,
child.
I know.
Something we
That's what.
have to work
It's
out.
a balance that we need to practice. I need to practice. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. That's what I was afraid of. Yeah.
It's fascinating, really, that your idea was to focus on channeling the questions. That gave me the opportunity to focus on channeling the replies.
Mhm.
Because I've never practiced like this before. Usually we each take a jaunt in, or one person goes in one time and the other asks, and then we switch it the next time. But this, it's actually giving us, I think, enough repetition, in the practice to be improving at you asking the questions and me with the replies. Yeah, so I think that this was the right way to go for now.
I know. I always thought that there's a reason that why I suddenly lost interest in wanting to channel. I honestly just didn't feel like it anymore. There's a reason for that, I think. So.
But you're still channeling, you're just channeling the question.
Yes. I mean, not in a session like this. That's what I meant. I suddenly don't want to be the one who's channeling in the session with you. So I think that's why. Yeah, honestly, when you ask me, I don't have any answer. I just keep telling you, oh, I just suddenly lost interest because that I just yeah. So, anyways, it's kind of interesting how things play out, and then watching it afterwards, right?
How it patterns, what the result of it is. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Fascinating.
it is.
Okay, Andy, we made this be 90 minutes again, but
Yeah,
that's all right. I was probably in there for a while. It didn't feel like it was very long.
you were in there for more than an hour, and I was actually tempted to tell you the time, but then I saw you how much you're enjoying it. And I was like, no, you know what? She can be in there as long as she likes. Okay, so I'm not gonna take up any more of your time. Have a great day. This was a wonderful practice. I'll see you next Sunday. Sunday, right?
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
we're skipping
Yes.
Wednesday. Okay.
Okay.